Welcome to the Isle Chat podcast with me, Beth,
Josh,
and Ryan.
This podcast is all about exploring the big questions, the small moments, and everything in between.
Whether you're stuck at the shops, in traffic, or just looking for some inspiration, our chat is here to keep you engaged.
It's time to talk, connect, and find meaning in those everyday moments.
Welcome to the Isle Chat.
So before we get into this week's podcast, basically what we've been aware of is that we never mention about who we are behind this podcast. The funny thing about that is we're actually self-sponsoring it. And while we don't have any other sponsors in that place, unless you want to get involved, we thought it'd be a good time to actually introduce ourselves and what we do. So my name is Ryan and I run Roll and Stop Photography Shop, a photography business based out of Liverpool, but also go all over the UK.
I am Josh, one half of Memory Box Films with Beth. We are a wedding videography team based in the Northwest.
And the boss thing is about us, as well as the podcast, we do joint packages together. So if you haven't actually booked your photographers and videographers for 2025 and 2026 season, which does come around quicker than you think, definitely worth checking out both of our social pages and finding out a little bit more about who we are behind. Anything to add, Joshy?
Well done, Ryan.
There you go. Now into the podcast.
One of the most popular dates of getting married this year is, do you remember the 21st night of September?
Is it? Day before Effie's birthday?
Is it a Saturday or Friday or
I don't know what
this
day.
year?
I don't know. I actually don't know what.
Where's your facts come from?
It's a Sunday
So,
Who told you that?
this year.
as you all know, I am a bit of a researcher. When I sit in this chair,
And only
when I sit in this chair, I do a bit of research. So yeah, that's where I got that knowledge from. So anyone who's getting married on the 21st of September this year, I think I've got the date for it.
I was just going to say,
it's so
if that's the most
popular.
popular date, obviously everyone here, it's obviously our friend Estelle Lace. Estelle Lace Wedding Photography. What's your other company called? Bumblebee Studio?
I've rebranded them all.
Oh, you've
now.
rebranded?
Yeah.
What's the new brand?
Are you one of them, Estelle, where you've changed over the years multiple times? You know,
Yeah, I've had
rebrand,
three logos.
3 logos.
That's in 9 years, 10 years.
I was actually waiting for you to say like 3 months then or something.
I'm
I think it was the
indecisive.
third time, 3 months. Did you have the 21st available?
Yes, I actually do.
So,
Guys.
if you haven't got someone booked,
No, where did you get those facts from?
I know.
Someone would have had it
one
booked
in
up.
every 9 people is booked, I believe.
It's what Google says, guys. Or in my case, Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves. It's not even going.
Listen, that was a personal joke between me and Beth.
Anyway, so we have got obviously Estelle here. She's graced us with her presence and we're more than happy to have her. You've probably heard us talk about Estelle numerous times. She's the creator of
You're down here.
some of the imagery that you will see in and around here. You remember this is your beautiful work?
Yeah.
And she actually
She
actually did let us use the studio one time as well when we didn't have a studio.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
That was Lee Morrison's episode. Last little episode, that. I was going to say, what was he like to shoot Estelle? Was he as annoying as he is on the couch, or?
Don't worry, I can take it. I'm a big girl.
Careful. No, we had fun. It was good.
That's a lovely little times with me.
You started off shyer than I imagined.
Well,
You
people
did
don't know
start off
this.
shy.
This is actually something that people don't know. I'm actually quite withheld, shy
Introvert.
individual.
That was
yeah.
like one of the last group of shots we did.
And they got better. But I think that's how it always is. I think anyone who's getting shot, and this is on wedding days as well, it always starts, I won't say the word's difficult, but starts slow. And usually the better pictures are the ones that you get. It's just like the whole wedding day, isn't it? Like in the morning, everyone's
You go
quite
in the
late.
toilet having a few shots of Jaeger.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then like, no, let's not get that out there. That's definitely not true. But like as the day pans out, as people get to the end of the day, like couples tend to loosen up the longer you're shooting them for. It's probably the same for me that day, really.
I was going to say, would you? I know we always speak about alcohol being like a bit of a factor to making people loosen up, but do you think that people are getting comfortable with like your photographers and videographers on a day, like your brides and grooms?
I think it's time as well, not just... I've had some brides that don't drink.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's time.
Yeah.
Time, as you said, about it starts off. Before when I sat in here, I said to Beth, I was like, I've forgotten how you sit. Like, how do you sit?
I must.
You overthink it.
Yeah,
Comes
because
with
it's a new
time.
environment, isn't
Yeah.
it? You're thinking like, oh, what's going on? All you can think about is like, there's a camera, and then all of a sudden you just forget, and then
What
you're
would-
like, okay, I've got this.
I was going to say, what would your advice be then, as like creators who are capturing people, like little tips to relax? Because I know brides and grooms will be listening, and they'll be. I think it's the part of the day that couples can not fear the most, but it can be a factor where they go, oh, I'm dreading standing there, maybe from a male's perspective.
I think there's two things,
taken.
yeah, and I think you do this really well, in my opinion, from what I've seen of you.
Thanks.
Is pre-wedding photo shoots are a real good way of like lessening that like stiffness, if you like, because you've already spent time with. Because sometimes, obviously, when we turn up to wedding days, as all of us, and then you that's probably the first time that you've been in each other's presence properly. So it's just throughout the day, it's that comfort level like kind of builds up. Whereas I've done a couple recently where I've done pre-wedding shoots, and I already know.
Get on him, Chance.
I'm saying. I'm just saying that I've already made that rapport up front. So that would be a good tip, because most photographers, videographers do offer it in some capacity to kind of get that done. Because you do a lot of on the beach stuff, don't you?
Yeah. I think if a couple's really shy, it's gold, because you just relax. So like a few of the destination ones I met them the day before, and it was like, these photos might not need to go anywhere, but it's kind of a good judge of them knowing what I'm going to do, what to expect from me, because honestly, every one of my couples say, petrified for the couple's photos, don't know how to stand, don't know how to pose. I don't want to be posed, but also I don't want to be told what to do, but I also want you to tell me what to do. I think that's what every bride mainly says. I don't particularly want to be posed, but don't let me stand there with my arm like this if it looks awful. So it's kind of gets them used to how I direct them.
Right.
Do you think that's a skill set then that like is kind of a little bit less talked about? Because I think for all of our point of view, people will talk about ultimately our final product, but there's also the in-betweens, isn't there, of like not just what you do, but how you do it. And I think definitely yourself, because I've obviously second shot with you, I've also second shot with Josh when you've been there, and obviously we've done our own little shoot as well. I think you've got a way that like just people can't not warm to you, if that's the right way to say it. That's a compliment as well, by the way. Thanks. And I don't think everybody's got that in their skill set.
Yeah, I don't think it's just, I think you could take an amazing photo and be an amazing photographer, but I feel like going to the weddings, that's not enough. Like, there's everything. I feel like you've got to be able to read a room. Definitely. To know, like, I think sometimes I've worked, and I think sometimes I know my couple is tapped out. They don't want to be doing this now. And if other suppliers don't click onto that and they carry on getting them to do stuff, it's not fair on the couple. And I think, hello.
Sorry about that. We had our baby Jonah.
We do have a baby in the room.
Yeah, I love it.
He was like spoiling it. He's tapping out right now. I think he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, you've got to read the room and make the couple feel comfortable and guide them.
Would you say for like destination weddings then, when you travel over, you do a pre-wedding shoot over in the venue?
If it works. No, not in the venue.
Like just
on
location then?
Yeah, and only if it works. It worked with one of them because they were just having welcome drinks. So that worked. I went and met them. Hello, babe. Sorry, sidebar.
We have a baby in the room.
My attention shifted. They were having welcome drinks, so it worked. So it was like, my flight lands at this time.
Yeah.
We met you at the welcome drinks, and it worked. So I think if it works, but at the same time,
do you think it's needed?
Most of mine don't do pre-wedding shoots. I don't feel like it is actually needed.
Oh no, it's not essential. Sorry, I've kind of maybe put that wrong. I thought it was a helpful tip, but also
definitely if you're really shy.
It's picking the people who you know you'll get along with was the extra part. And I think that's why when we've mentioned in the last few weeks about it's not just all about the final product, get to know your suppliers no matter who they are.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
If you've got someone who's going to be making your flowers, don't get someone who's going to be dead stiff and like, you know, change that moment for the first time when you're seeing them or whatever. Like, you all right, son?
I think also as well, like obviously you want to enjoy yourself as much as possible as the couple. You want to enjoy yourself as much as the couple, but then you want the memories. So it's like, even if you are feeling a bit uncomfortable or a bit awkward, just go and get the pictures done.
Yeah,
that's all you're left with, and it will literally be 10 minutes.
I think it's good to, like, for us as suppliers to know particularly what's in the brain of the bride.
Yeah.
I honestly think, like, everyone says they want posed. I want it really documentary, which is the word that everyone uses, which can mean so many different things to different people, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
A documentary, want this, and then I see their vision board. and it's not
It's the
documentary.
opposite.
It is
Do you think that's just something that's
stunning
like a
and-
trendy
very
word
intimate.
that people have started to use? And I mean vendors as well.
It is, so it means so for an actual documentary photographer, it literally means documentary. I am not doing anything. I'm not creating any moments, not doing anything.
Yeah.
But then you
But-
need to do something, don't you? And
Yeah.
if they've got a vision, like, and I think this is what we say in our consultations, isn't it? Even though we are quite like a laid back team and we will kind of step back most of the time, there will be creative suggestions and expect
Yeah.
those as well.
Look, confetti, that's a directed
Oh, you have to.
shot.
Yeah, you have to.
Sparklers, that's a directed shot. So I think sometimes it's making people those
You know that vision board that you just mentioned?
make it look documentary, even though it wasn't.
Yeah. Do you know the vision board that you just mentioned then?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is essential for couples to do for the photographer side of things? So they have an idea of what they want. So for anyone who doesn't know what a vision board is, like
Pinterest board.
Pinterest boards?
Yeah.
Mood boards, is that what they're called?
Yeah, Pinterest board. My brides send me stuff on Instagram. Sometimes I wake up and I've got like my inbox is full and it's literally just brides have sent me reels and
Has it got to be from the venue? Would you
No.
recommend people do it from the venue or not?
I don't think I've ever had any. I've turned up to some venues with weddings and I don't think they've sent me anything from the venue or said anything. It's more the couple's pictures. And I
'Cause
think I love seeing that.
Yeah.
Some photographers I know are like, I don't want to see that because I'm not going to look at that to recreate it, which I get. And I don't look at it throughout the day, really.
Yeah.
It just allows me to see how much I can pull out of the bride. If she says, I want it to be documentary and pose, but then she sends me on the Pinterest board where she's sitting on the bar like, woo! Unless she sits on the bar and does that herself, I might need to be like, go on, help on the bar.
It was on your board.
Be sexy.
There's a management of expectations, isn't there? Like, I think what you were saying there about sending Pinterest boards and mood boards and like never sending it from your particular venue. I do often ask in the consultations, like, you've picked this venue for a reason. Is it because you've seen other people doing certain things there? Is it because there's a certain stairway that you love the most? Whatever, to try and like get an idea of what it is. But I think, like you've just mentioned there about Pinterest boards, sometimes it's like quite a dangerous thing because if they're getting married in somewhere that's not very like aesthetic, let's just say, because some places aren't,
Yeah.
not where you go, because I've seen some of the places you've been going recently. But like,
know.
but like if they send you a mood board that's like all that style, like everyone's sitting on bar, everything's all dead sexy, and then you go into like a hotel in St. Helens, like, do you know what I mean?
think I have
Very,
had that.
not to like,
Very
not
specific.
not
Yeah.
to put a bad mouth on sites of hotels, but do you know what I mean? It's difficult.
niche.
I
It's
feel
a
like I
management,
have
isn't
had
it?
that sometimes where I've had looked at the Pinterest board and a lot of them were like outdoor ceremonies and outdoor this and outdoor that, and the wedding was in
December.
November. Yeah. So sometimes I'm a bit, but then I'll be honest with them and be like, what drew you to that picture? Was it literally just the pose or walk? Like a lot of my photos are just walking, but was it the way the couple looked or the overall? Because I can't do that in December because you've got like an hour of light. So
Ryan has just touched on venues or locations that you've just shot recently. What's been your favourite recently, venue-wise?
oh god,
Or destination weddings? Because I know you've done loads of them.
I mean that's bloody fun.
I know, because we
Fun,
haven't-
but like I can't do too many of them here. Like
Right.
it's
What's
the
so?
anticipation was.
What's like the pros and cons then of doing a destination wedding for you?
Got kids.
Yeah,
Go
that's a
on.
biggie, isn't it? Really?
The anticipation of your flight being on time,
Time.
remembering I must have checked and repacked my kit
Yeah.
an unnatural amount of times, took more stuff than I needed because I was like, what if something breaks? I can't get anything everywhere. So I took like triple duplicates of everything. Is that even a word? That's not a word.
What's been your favourite destination then? This year? Oh, not this year, sorry, to start.
Destination, Como,
Yeah.
Lake Como.
Lake Como.
I mean, I know like it's a popular wedding one, but bloody hell, it's pretty.
Take the piss.
The light was just, it was
We
a
haven't
cloudy
been there,
day as
have
well,
we?
so I was really quite lucky. Because my over panic was sun.
Yeah, being
I mean,
like-
you work with it. Like,
Yeah, you lean into it.
yeah, the one I did in my brain's gone.
Didn't you
blank.
shoot one with Greg recently?
Yeah,
as well?
that was
couple with
the
Greg, didn't you?
hottest day of the year. Like, literally.
It's always the way, isn't it? When you're like,
The hottest day
You've
of
gotta
the year.
perform and-
They had to push because they were sitting outside as well for food. The venue had to push back the food because like it's actually too hot for your guests to sit outside and eat. Like it was.
the soup's not cooling down, guys.
It was, and the sun, and it was just like not a cloud, and like it was
But was it beautiful?
stunning. But I'm so happy that type of booking come to me then, and not like 5 years ago, because I would have cried.
How long have you been doing weddings for then? Because I know you've been, give us a little backstory and like how long you've been going for, because we know we spoke briefly off.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it a short
Go on,
story.
tell us.
Long story short.
Yeah, but you can tell us how you got into it.
Photography, like 14, 15 years ago, I think it was. I bought my first camera, become obsessed.
Wow.
Made it my whole personality. Did fashion for ages. And then after I had Evelyn, like most parents, you become baby obsessed.
So that's how you got into
I started the babies
newborn
first.
stuff,
So I
yeah.
did the baby stuff before any weddings.
You still do that, don't you?
Yeah, love
Yeah.
it. So I did that. And then 2019, I kind of thought,
Have a go.
maybe, so a second shot. So that was very much kind of like a easy step in. Because it was...
Was it a conscious step? Did you think, I
No.
want to do weddings? Or
No.
did she just say, listen,
No.
do you want to come and do this?
I was like unsure about doing it. I mean, photography-wise, confident. But I was going to say, I feel like I am quite a shy person. Friends will probably laugh at that. But the idea of doing a wedding, I was like, ooh.
It's a different
It is a
world,
different.
isn't it?
Don't
different
know about
world,
that.
yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people don't do them, because it's a different...
I think with weddings as well, you've only got one chance to do it.
Yeah.
That's where the pressure comes
And like
in.
you've got no choices when it comes, like, I know obviously with the baby stuff, you like the lighting's your light. I know yours is a natural light
I can
studio,
control
but like
it's natural, but I can control
it's controlled, isn't
everything.
it? Whereas on a wedding day, you can't control where people are going to walk, what
And
people
with
are going to do.
babies are in charge. Like I can't force a baby to do something.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
If it doesn't,
But
it doesn't.
you've always got tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where with wedding
And
you
when
haven't.
you don't,
Yeah.
you
So
gotta know your shit.
Yeah.
But I bloody loved it. I did it, and then that was when I was I hesitantly did it though, because I did that, and then second shot for years, and that was in 2019. I had to check before because I couldn't.
So
couldn't remember the dates.
was you second shooting for like a long time?
I did it for ages, and I didn't start a separate Instagram page for my wedding until 2022. And that was only because
Can
I just say,
I was
right,
just dead. Like I wanted it. I was just never overthinking it.
I didn't know that it was, I would say that was quite recent. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're only in 2025 now.
Yeah.
From that being like your first wedding, if you like, to now seeing what you're doing lately, because I was going to mention this as well, but like the level that you're at, and say this in a nice way, like is like you've come a long way in a short time, seemingly. Then, based on
Yes.
those levels, I mean, obviously you've been shooting forever, but that
I
climb.
feel like I was nervous to put it out to the world until I was happy and confident with it, because I'd done the babies for so many years and built up a reputation for that, and put a lot of pride in my work for that, and got to the point that I was confident and proud of it, that I didn't want to then share a wedding that was looked a bit like,
Well,
are
you
they
by
the same
sound-
photographer?
I was going to say, by the sounds of it, you wanted to, like, not that you've fully mastered it, let's just say, because no one has, but we're
No.
all sort of learning, but you wanted to be proud of the level of weddings that you were shooting. I'm not sorry.
The quality of the photos, yeah. I thought it was, and also just confident on the day, because I didn't know how I was going to handle that. The idea of speaking to a group of people to me is like,
Isn't it mad
petrifying.
though? Because I think when you walk into a wedding, not that I turn into somebody else, but I don't think I'm a very confident person. But then when I walk into like a bridal prep with like 5 or 6 girls and like the hair and makeup team and stuff, you turn into
I feel
someone
like
else.
it's like
I
an
think.
actress.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think
no
you've
matter
got to,
what's
haven't you?
going on at home, or
course, yeah.
if you're tired, you could be exhausted or tired or stressed or anything. As soon as you get there, it's like,
Game.
King, let's go.
Yeah.
And for like 10 hours, you are.
It's like
On.
We're all characters, aren't we?
I was literally gonna say you get in the car and your social battery's just like you're like hello darkness. And it's funny when you've got one to go to the next day as well, because you're thinking,
But then, and you think,
round
I
two.
can't do that again. And then you're like, boom, you do it. And it's addictive. And you love it.
Obviously, and things are moving in the right direction, I would say, from an outsider looking in, which is what I am to you, really. It's looked great. Like I was literally only saying to him the other week, like, obviously I always knew you, respected you, whatever you want to call it, but then literally in the last like year, 2 years ish, the levels have just like gone over the top, I would say, like into a different level.
You're not going to be able to fit me out that door. My
What do you
head
reckon
would be
about
too
that?
big.
Do you think that's a conscious thing? Have you put things into place to make yourself?
No, I'm not a forward planner. Like
Right.
Give me a camera, tell me what time I need to be there.
Done.
That's on your vision board, and that's all I need. Everything else I need. I think that's what I'm going to go down the route this year, is outsourcing and getting extra help for stuff
I was just going to touch on this like vision board that you've mentioned again. Just, do you think every bride and groom should do it? Do you think it's an essential? Because people who are listening to this might be in the planning process.
I think it depends on the photographer or videographer's choice.
Right.
Because, and I do personally know some that would be like, do not show me that. Especially if it's not their work. Maybe show them their own work. But I know, so some people are against it. So I do think.
See, I don't specifically
ask for
I mean,
it.
don't get me wrong. When I take a booking on, I say like, obviously now you're booked in, there's X amount of time, whatever. Feel free to talk to me about anything you want or share with me any ideas and anything like that. No one really ever does. But when it comes to like about a week, 2 weeks before the wedding day, sometimes they do send me things and it is not always my work. And I don't know if I'm a bit like you, that I'm like quite an instinctive shooter rather than a pre-planned shooter.
Yeah.
Because I like it to feel natural, which I
Emotive,
guess,
just kind
yeah.
of.
And I guess that's maybe what you're kind of referring to there is it's you don't want to be going in with like a plan. And I think that's what's separating us new breed of photographers / videographers, I'll call us that, in comparison to like 20 years ago how it was. There was a very pre-thought out schematic of what the day is going to be, isn't it? Whereas now it's
make
just,
it up as you go
it's
along.
all about the emotion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like what's happening at
I
the
think
time.
you just make it up as you go along, to be honest. But I do really, I think, love seeing that vision board because I've had some brides who are very shy.
Yeah.
And I feel like they wouldn't ask. I'm quite a visual person anyway. And I think in the wedding world, particularly with photography, there's so many words and describing words that people use: editorial, luxury, documentary. And they mean something different to everyone, really.
Definitely,
Like I threw around the word luxury for a while. And then someone's like, well, isn't a luxury wedding, a price point of this? And I didn't mean it in a price point. I meant the way my edit is clean and magazine-y. And I was like, I didn't mean it in that point. So I think visually, if I can see the photos they're showing me, they're all the same style as mine. I like to see them in terms of how intimate the couple portraits are and how the energy, like if they've sent me like a Pinterest board of all the groomsmen and bridesmaids and they're all dancing and doing all this. Now I can't make them be like that.
Of course, yeah.
If on the day they're all quite flat, I might be like, come on guys, let's put some music on. But if you've got to do it together. But if I can see that that's in them, I've gone.
I was going to say, I
sidetracked.
was just going to say about that what you mentioned there about like them sending you certain things from the day, but sometimes I think it's like a false assumption that that's the way it's going to be. When they see like the bridesmaids and groomsmen or like jumping around doing whatever, that's not their wedding party. Do you feel like there's either a false assumption and also a time limit on things as well? Because you can't factor that into the day sometimes.
No, but I think if I know that they've got some of those fun, high energy
Oh, it works then, doesn't
group
it?
ones on there, throughout the day I'll make it work.
Encourage you.
If the drinks reception is happening, they're all just kind of mingling, I'll go to the bride. Now is a great time. Would you like to do it? And I've already told them in the pre-wedding thing that if I come to you and say, I've got this idea, do you want to do this? If you don't want to do it, say no. Like the day is not a photo shoot. I want to particularly steal you for as least time as I do what I need to do, but also at the least as quick as possible. And generally those type of particular ones where the groomsmen and bridesmaids are all together, it's a ball. We have a ball.
Yeah.
Like we have fun.
I had it, didn't I, last year, where the team that I was working with, photographers, was doing a group shot of bridesmaids and groomsmen, but it was sort of, I felt like it was coming from what they wanted to produce. And I won't say what they tried to do, but basically one of the groomsmen was missing. But it was basically a bridesmaid's groomsman shot, and they literally just said, we'll just use this random guest to fill in. Which,
So that's for their portfolio.
yeah. But it was, from my perspective watching it, and I was thinking, I would never do that. Like, how uncomfortable.
You've got to do what works for them. Like if they're not party animals and you're trying to get them to dance and or I think if a couple's not used to public like kissing in front of people, if they are petrified at that, you're not going to get them to snog surrounded by all their mates cheering you on. Like that's going to be like snog. They're going to find that horrendously uncomfortable. I think it's just, again, that goes back to reading the room. And
it's a funny one, isn't it? Because I think when we all turn up and like everyone's looking to us for the answer, aren't they?
Oh yeah, what do we do next?
It's tough because you're kind of putting on like a bit of a mini stage show in some ways. Like you're trying to get them to do the things that you think they want to do without knowing if that's actually what they want to do.
Yeah, it's a fine art.
And then, and I think the other part is as well, what's probably dangerous from our side of things is we might think that that's what they want and we'll tell them to do it, but couples typically just generally do whatever you say.
Yeah.
In the nicest possible way. I mean
tell
that like
my brides when they do that Pinterest board, though, I do say, and I've started to say it more just to make sure, look at that with your groom.
Yeah.
Because you need to, if she's, her dream is this really like, you know, I don't know, under the veil shot, close kissing. If the idea of doing that would make him be like, I don't want to do that, they need to have already decided that not on the day, so that I'm not making anyone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No, and it's really quick. You can tell if someone's uncomfortable and you just scrap it and move on and do something else. But
That's why I think, again, it's good that you've touched on that, really, because I think a lot of people who are planning weddings, sometimes the bride just goes off on one and just books all the suppliers and organises everything. So when it comes to doing like the Zoom call or the consultation with us, I always feel like if it is just the bride on it and their other half's not on it, I'm always thinking, oh, this is...
yeah, on the day, hi.
Yeah.
No, you do agree or not? I don't know.
I know that is sometimes the case though, isn't it? Like, and this goes right down the line throughout the whole wedding day. Like, typically, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, it's typically the bride who you've dealt with, or a certain one of the two, if it's bride and bride, groom and groom, whatever. Like, there's usually one person that you've done all of the like connection to up until like the consultation, where you might see both of them for the first time, or like sometimes you don't on the day itself. So it's like that play between of like, I'm doing what you told me you like, but I don't actually know if it's what you like also.
Look together.
Yeah, and we always
agree.
try and get the lads on side. It typically is the lads who go a little bit like stale and a little bit more withheld. I was just thinking there, do you reckon this would be a good idea? I've just thought about this now, is of like, say we as creators and just generally everyone across the industry, if when you come to our website, when we do like the booking process, we'll give you, have you seen them things? Have you ever made your logo like this? I mean, you've changed your logo a few times, you mentioned, as of you. Have you ever seen when you go on them websites and it says like, do you like this picture or this picture more? And then it'll be the next one, do you like this picture more or this picture more? And we'll have like a bit of a vetting process, not a vetting process, but like a, let us understand what you like the most. Do you like these colours more? Do you like the more black and white? Do you like that? And it gives us a better idea. I think I might look into that.
Dragon's Den coming at you live.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because instead of like letting them go out and show you, you know what's within your realm
I
of
just
ability.
like to know as well, like for those couple shots, you only have a small window to get it. That some couples, I feel like I'm different at every wedding depending on my couple.
Definitely.
Some just need walk,
Yeah,
look at each other, have a kiss, don't need to do anything else. But some want more intimate.
Yeah.
But they're not just going to start caressing each other and
Of course, yeah.
just they look at you and like, what?
Need
what
a
should
bit
we
of
do?
Marvin Gaye, don't you?
Need a little,
And sex.
yeah, you need. I feel like lots of my brides can't. It's knowing when to be silent. Like there's certain, you know what I mean? There's certain parts of the day that you don't need to intervene. If there's a cute moment going on with a nan or first looks or something, you literally don't need to say a word. Like that. That's when the documentary side of it comes in. But I feel like all my brides for the couples side, they want a bit of hype. You need reassurance. It's working because it's. I mean, we've got cameras pointing at me right now and I'm like, you need to know it's working and it's okay. Otherwise, if you're just silent and going click, 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 click and saying nothing, I know for me, like that would make me be like, oh, is this right? Is it okay? Like, I feel like you need a little bit of...
Some as you say, some couples do need that. But I've had it from time where the couples are just being, it's very rare that this happens, but when they are just in the moment, and you just let them just do the thing
and do nothing.
It's the easiest job in the world, isn't it?
And I think that as a wedding photographer, besides learning everything about your camera, you need to know when to like go.
Yeah.
But there's people out there though, isn't he? And I guess I'm proper slating the old guard, really, aren't I? The people who've made our industry for us, but like people who've been around for a long time, where they do turn up with the schematics and all that. They're like the over pushy ones, and like in those moments, they don't know when to take the foot off.
I've had a few cringe moments where I've been like that, but then I feel like I have got embarrassed, like as if the couple are uncomfortable now, like
I can't say nothing
even
anymore.
though it's like it's not me, but I'm like, oh, stop making them do that. They don't want to do it.
Yeah, I've
Read the room.
From a videographer's point of view, obviously I work with all different types of photographers throughout the year, And I must admit,
Slag them off.
I was going to say, I must admit, when I work at you two, it's very similar to me in that sense. Like, you're on the couple's page. Like, you want the best for them. You're not going to rush them into, like, not rush them, sorry. You're not going to push them to carry on when you know they're done, they're burnt out.
You can feel it.
Yeah, but some photographers do not know that. And I think that should, not that they should be phased out, but they should be.
I know, yeah. Josh is like that.
Phase them out,
put them down.
No, because I just think from a couple's perspective, it's their day, it's not your day. So you should be putting them first, and you shouldn't be. And some couples are shy, and they don't have like that in them to say, listen, I've had enough now, I don't want to do anything more.
And I think as well, like, we've said it before, whereby I've totally forgot what I was saying. And I'll just look at you now.
I think it's remembering, I think, as a supplier, that some suppliers, like, I think we should all remember this. It's their wedding day. It's not style shoot. If you want to practice something or do something for your portfolio to be like, I really want to try this. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes if you, as you say, you just get an idea on the fly and go, do you want to do this? Like, one of my brides, I got her up on the bar. That was like a shadowy.
I think I was at a wedding with you when I did that. Was it not?
Yeah, we did do that. Little little ball of energy. I love it.
Have you just delivered the fan photos recently?
She's sharing them everywhere. I love it. Every time she shares it, I'm like, oh, there she is. Oh, I love that day. No, it was a different one I thought of, but yeah, I feel like maybe I've done that a couple of times now, but I think she'd said it maybe because she'd already seen me do it.
Maybe the original bar.
I might just think, shall we do it? But at the same, and doing that wedding that I did, pop her up on the bar. Those photos like blew up on my Instagram.
Did you have
so
like
that's
a
a happy
photo?
byproduct, but that wasn't my plan when I did it.
So this is the funny thing, isn't it? Like, I think I know why people do it that way. Like,
I didn't already think it.
I'm going in with this as an idea to try and carve out themselves into a bit of a niche style or something like that, which I guess it's such a mental game, isn't it? Like what we're doing, because we want to go in and be for them, but we also want to create something for ourselves that other people see, that this is what we're like, this is what we do, and this is the type of shots you might end up with. It's such a delicate game. But what I was going to say before, which I forgot and now I've remembered, is because there is all these different people, all these different like energies, all these different mindsets, all these different people, all these different ages from the creator side of things going in and having their way with a wedding day. It's then difficult for, if say you've got a couple who went to their friend's wedding last year who had a certain photographer that done it this way, that's their idea then of what they get.
What's normal.
Like, and then that normal becomes difficult to overcome, or like, it leaves you in a very delicate balance.
I feel like we've done one together and guests have come up to us and literally been like, I didn't know that this is how it could be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like,
that is it.
Yeah, they were literally like, and I can't remember which wedding it was we did, and the guests were like showering us. We were literally like, oh, thank you. They were
Yes.
saying how amazing
We do this all the time.
But no, they generally were like, I didn't know that this could be how you got your pictures.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't
And that's
realise.
the way it should be.
Talking about people coming up and shower us with affection, I seen a couple who you did at Peckfort and Castle. That was the couple. That was where they got married. I didn't do it, but we met them at Ryan and Jess's wedding.
Oh my God, you're taking me
She's
back
a
now.
nurse and he's an electrician or something like that.
Ryan and Jess.
I want to say his name's Mark.
No.
Her name might be Sarah
Right.
or Rachel.
Rachel, her name is.
Rachel.
Rachel and Fran. Rachel and Fran, shout out. No,
Right,
you don't
Rachel and
listen,
Fran.
but
So-
shout out.
So talking about the perception of what a wedding day is like, they had, I guess, an idea of what a wedding day was like. And then obviously met me on Ryan and Jess's day.
Yes.
And did exactly what you've just said, which is like, their minds were changed of like, oh, so this is how it could be. And then I actually seen them on the weekend just gone in Sefton Park.
Did you know?
Funnily enough, small world happening here. Becky said hello to her first from a distance because I was like carrying scooters and bags and everything. So I was obviously a bit further away. I was a buckaroo in the background. So by the time I got to them, I was like, I recognise these people. And then Becky introduced me like, this is Ryan. And she went, you're the photographer? And they literally said like,
I love the photographer. Personality.
I know, yeah, I don't have a
Who I
name
am.
anymore.
I was actually going to say Ryan is still saved in my phone as Ryan the photographer.
There you go. That's an alias I do go by. But they were saying, because I went, oh yeah, I didn't, because Becky was like, oh, did you do their wedding? I went, no, I didn't do theirs. I did like their friends. but I think they regret not having me originally type of thing. I don't know who the photographer was originally. No, but they...
Because I shot that wedding with the photographer and he's a nice man, okay?
No, but they agreed. They said, we didn't know you back then, otherwise we probably would have chosen you.
You would have, because I have a joint package with you and I always promote you when I can.
I know, but aside from that, it was the personality factor. So it all ties into this, like, and it's the thing, the cliche saying that we always say, person first, photographer second.
Yes.
Because you have to be that way now, don't you? It's not enough to just do lovely photos. Well, maybe to some people it's enough. But like for the clients that we're looking for, we want friendships almost, as well as...
Yeah, I hate leaving.
Stop it, right?
Like, I can't, if you're the same, actually, to be honest, I can't say goodbye.
I can remember doing that wedding with Estelle, and
you were literally like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just going to go say bye-bye to...
Was it the one that we were both at as well?
Yeah.
So obviously your dad...
You in the mix.
You waited?
People know this as well.
That's the car in the dark.
People know this as well by now, that Josh laughs about it all the time, that I take ages to say goodbye to everyone's aunties and mates and whatever.
If I've spoken to them in the day, I can't just side door. I've got to say
you had me, didn't you? Josh was like, pretty much in his head.
No, it wasn't.
And then he had me 20 minutes of saying goodbye. And then you were like, me times 10.
To be fair, I knew a few people at the wedding anyway, so that was why it was worse.
I actually thought that she'd gone and we'd missed her. I was like, yeah, but she's got to walk this way back to the car. And then as gentlemen, we waited.
You did, because it was pitch black.
We did.
Thank you, guys.
We waited for her.
Well, when he said we waited for them, you just see my headlights of my car, like, bye!
I can see she's out now.
Yeah, she's fine. I said to Ryan, are you sure? Are you sure?
Give us 3 rings when you're in. As I did bring in something, just to set off the segment, I brought in a little picture of said children.
Gorgeous.
My children. If you can't see, there they are. Thea and Effie, the 2 apples of my eye. Play that back in 18 years when you get married.
No.
So, I was going to say different things about kids on a wedding day, because there's this like constant talking point about how people have kids at their wedding. Obviously, your own kids, you haven't got a choice, they're there. But like, when it comes to the wedding day, other people's kids, there's this like divide happening, isn't it, where people want kids at a wedding day because of what they bring, and I do think they bring a lot of joy and a lot of laughter and emotion because they're unpredictable. But then some people choose not to have kids at all. So that was my first talking point. And I've got a second point after that. So let's not talk about that for too long.
I was going to jump on really quickly and say, from a couple's point of view, if you haven't got kids and you haven't got nieces and nephews, let's just say, I can fully understand why you could be against having kids there.
Predictable and doing crazy stuff.
Which they do.
Which they do. They're in charge. Yeah.
Speaking of kids, Beth is back on the couch.
He's had his bum changed out the bottle. Just see if he stays still. I don't know.
This is the reality, guys. This, talking about the unpredictability, is that the right word? Of children. Here's our prime example here, isn't it? Like, you just don't know what they're going to do. But I think, because we've all in this room got children, which is why I brought this up as a talking point, this is like the showing of how it is if you have got kids, how you just get on with it. I think that's what brides and grooms tend to do. Like, they know they've got kids, they know they're going to be there, they just get on with it, they invite everybody else's kids, that's laughing. But like you just said there, if people don't have children and they don't know what it's like to have them on an important day, because they'll shout during the ceremony at like the most important time.
Do you think they do though?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it as an example. They'll just pipe up when they're not tend to expect it to, or if like you're trying to do something, group shots, prime example.
Oh God, yeah.
Kids don't want to know. It's boring to stand there. Do you know what I mean?
Can I just touch on, like, from a video point of view, when we're filming like the ceremony and it's at that point where they're just saying so many nice things and you're just there, and you're thinking, oh my God.
Was that a motorbike?
Yeah. A bike, a baby on a bike.
No, but some I think brides and grooms who have children seem to accommodate for kids at the wedding, so they get like, I don't know if you touch on this because obviously I've been out the room, but like they get like the soft play for them or the nanny tap. Nanny tap's obviously a really good one. So when the important times are going on, ceremony speeches, the kids can be minded.
Little plug there for nanny tap. Shout out
nanny tap. Who just we desperately want to have on, who just doesn't want to come on at all. Thanks, girl.
She can promote this whole kids at weddings saga. That keeps their business going, right, doesn't it?
I think that if there are kids at your wedding as well, generally they're gonna, as the bride and groom, Because when we eventually do get married, not that I've done any planning at all,
Oh.
other than a Pinterest board.
We'll come on to that.
I do have a Pinterest board. That's as far as I've got. There will be children at our wedding. Obviously, we've got kids. I've got my nieces, nephews. I've got my twin little hooligan nieces, which they're going to be a whirlwind. But there's a lot of our friends who wouldn't be able to come if kids weren't invited.
Are you going to a destination, are you then?
Hopefully.
What's your partner called?
Andy.
Andy, you're going abroad, mate.
It was his
Just to
idea.
let you
You've
know.
heard it here first.
It was his idea.
Was it? Oh, fair
Yeah,
dues.
that was his
Lake Como.
2 pence. Now he wants mountains. Wants mountain.
Didn't he propose like in the
Mic drop.
mountains though?
Yeah.
Oh, what a
When
guy.
you were skiing on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a guy.
That's our
Not
thing.
stalking
That-
it, honest.
Love that.
But they're generally the kids that you love. So if they do make a noise in the ceremony, it's like,
Yeah.
I know that if we are doing our ceremony and the little twin nieces are running around like crazy kids, that wouldn't bother me because I bloody love them.
used
So I'd
to it.
probably be like, sorry, Andy, just wait a second. For the family group shots, for instance, like my biggest thing I say is you're their parents. You know when is a good time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say to you, right, let's go and do family shots right now, when you might think, God, he's about to scream because he needs a nap or he needs that. So it's very much kind of like allowing them to still have, you're still mum and dad at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think this is really good point, because talking about how you are, and I'll talk about you because you are our guest. You are very good with those kids on the wedding day, I would say, and I think that comes from a point of being parental. Let's just call it that. That's a professional way to put it. Mumsy, I was going to say that's not actually accurate because we're all parents here, but like do you think it gives us like an advantage having our own kids, how we can control other people's on a wedding day? Because I know from my experience, I think you've actually got a photo of me doing this one time. I'll always, and it tends to work sometimes, not all the time, is I'll like offer the kids who don't want to play ball a go of actually taking the photo.
Literally is the best thing ever.
Just so easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like just give them the camera and go, yeah, you go nuts
Class
there.
is bribery.
I'll take
Your
bribery,
picture, you
basically.
I'll take you, then
You
you
take
can do
one, and then I'll
Yeah.
take one with you in, and it sometimes
Works the
works,
best.
sometimes doesn't.
And if your mum and dad don't like the photos, you're to blame.
Your problem. You
I
took
did
them.
forget once when I've used like the spider clips now, but when I used to use the dangly ones,
What was that?
Oh, what?
Sorry, I didn't know we had an octopus in the room.
the camera straps that kind of
Yeah, I know what
are
you mean.
loose. And I was second shooting for, do you know Vicky, Willow and Wilds?
I don't know her personally, I
Yeah.
know of her.
Second shooting for them, and Mark does a lot of the editing as well, so I was like, I forgot to warn them about it as well, that as I was doing all these group shots, and there was a lot going on and a lot to direct, one of the kids had like picked up my camera off my hip and was just
Playing.
click. But I let him because he was happy
Sugar happy.
to do it. Forgot to tell them that, and he was like, I think Mark was a bit like, what
the
the
hell is this?
hell? And also, she had a stroke. Like, why are these all wonky and blurry and like hundreds
That's the
of them?
style, Mark.
Yeah, it was on continuous shooting as well, so it was like
Listen, nowadays the way the trends are going, it's all them blurry photos.
throw a bit of green, a bit of black and white.
Exactly.
Sorted.
That kid was well ahead of his time. He knew
Yeah.
what was coming. What do you think of
Yeah.
trends though when you see stuff like that now? I know we spoke to Ryan about it, being a photographer, you know, the blurry stuff. Do you like them? Or?
I feel like I've done it.
Okay.
I've done a few of the trends, except for the wonky one. I'm not really getting onto that.
I think Ryan does that one.
Dutch
Right?
ankles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sauce.
I do it without thinking.
That's what I mean. I know Ryan does it without thinking.
Yeah, no, I do it without thinking, and I didn't even know it was a thing. Like when I used to do the music photography more than the weddings, I used to think that like getting something a little bit more edgy instead of being like perfectly straight was like something a bit. There was a reason it gained your interest a little bit more, and then I kind of just did it on wedding days without kind of realizing. Then I realized it was called Dutch angles, and that there is like a way to it.
I never knew it had a name.
Yeah, it's an actual thing. But then I know, like you, like you'll try these things out, but then you'll see
I
people.
want to do a whole gallery in a trendy style though. Like I want to be timeless, which
So,
realistically, what is timeless? We're going to
is
look back
timeless,
in
yeah.
20 years' time and go, oh, Champagne Town,
Everything.
that's so
Yeah.
2025.
You took that on a camera?
Like you will. Like nothing is actually timeless, but it's trying to keep it classic. Maybe, I don't know what word to use, but I will try a little bit of a blur, but I'm not going to do the whole couple's portraits in a blur, but I might do one because if the couple want it, some ask for it.
Yeah. I would want to see someone's
I would
full gallery.
recommend other customers do that
Yeah.
for other people, especially like if the galleries, like your Instagram is your highlights, like that's your favourite bits. That's not everything.
Because a lot of people nowadays are just booking videographers, photographers, content creators through what they're seeing on the grid, but they're not seeing the final article. And I do think, as a customer point of view, that's what they should be looking at as well.
It's funny, isn't it? Because if someone asked us, if we're looking at, say, someone's come to me, I didn't have the day free or whatever, and they said like, oh, we've got these other people in mind, what would you say out of these three? I wouldn't say like that one. Obviously, I'll point to you first because I always do. But like, if it were you, no, what I do, that is actually true. That is actually true.
Yeah, and I send them back to you, but then sometimes the ping pong. So like you've sent
hang
them
on a
to
minute.
me.
So
I've gone on full, so I've gone, but I can't recommend Ryan. They're like, I've already asked him. I was like, oh, so you asked him
is this
first?
what happened with Marie the other week? Was it Marie, or was that just a referral?
Shout out Marie, by the way.
Is that just,
Because
remember.
I couldn't. So it was funny because
was that the email one? I'm
yeah.
not free.
So
though.
someone come to
Yeah.
me as like, I thought it was like the first time. So I went, I'm not free, but I can put you in touch with Estelle, who's a friend of mine. But I did something that I never ever really do, which is I just forwarded the email and like kind of tagged you in a small way, like a CC, for you to kind of continue your conversation. But then when we were talking, I think either the same day or definitely the next day about other referrals, and you mentioned Marie Wood, and I wasn't sure if you were saying this was the one I sent to you,
Can't
or
remember.
this is the one that you've sent me. So I think it did a bit of that.
Bit of
Like,
ping pong.
anyway, story
Who
short.
asked him
Yeah,
first? We don't
that won't
know.
make the cut. That
That
just
would
so
make
you
the
know.
cut, yeah. Don't know.
Very interesting.
But then, can I just go back to kids
on.
slightly?
Go on, yeah.
So, talking about children, I think, obviously, everyone in this room are all parents. I think we've all got 2 kids each. Is that true? Yeah,
That is
two,
true.
two, yeah. I think yourself, the users go there as well, but I think you are I really love how you are as a parent, you and Andy. Almost jealous. And not that me and Becky are terrible by any way. That sounds like, oh yeah, we're shit. That's not actually true. But the way you are and the way you seem to be and the way your kids respond to you is actually really, really nice. So what I'm tying up is how much of what we do is for them. I know it's obviously a short answer, but why?
I made my business because of the kids, because Andy does shift work. Freelance fashion photography was not working, and working in companies wasn't working so much because I felt like I was here, there and everywhere, or trying to get help if we were both in work was really hard. So I literally was a bit like, right, I need to make something work that works around them. I don't want to miss stuff. That was kind of the actual starting point of that. And when I did the babies, I was so hesitant at first. I felt nervous because I felt like I'd failed quitting the fashion industry. I did feel like a little bit like, oh, am I really going to like not do that anymore? But loved babies. And then very quickly realised that actually fashion wasn't a passion. Fashion. I loved real things,
Well done.
families, real people, but it did kind of stem from like, how can I pretty much be a stay-at-home mum and earn?
Be this
I
cool
did it all
photographer.
wrong. I'm not going to lie. I feel like at first I was literally like a headless chicken, made loads of mistakes, was too busy, run myself into the ground, and I'm not here for promoting that. Like with motherhood, I feel like especially then, it was 10 years ago, I felt like I was very much like that mum boss, be a girl boss, I can do this, I can do this, but really, I was up till 2 a.m. editing, and then the baby was up through the night, and I was in like a baby massage or something, and another mum said to me like, oh my God, you are doing it. You're so amazing. You're such an inspiration. And it was a lovely thing for her to say, but it killed me because I was a bit like, I'm not. Like, I'm messing up and I'm exhausted and this shouldn't be promoted. Like, you should have rests. I know he's here right now. But you should bring it to him. But that's beautiful that you can do that. Like, when I had Rosie, I took her to work with me in the studio and I did a shoot with my baby. And I'd said to everyone, yes, I can do shoots again. But full disclaimer, my baby's here as well.
Yeah. Speaking of like the balance, and everything that you said then was like spot on. And I think all of us in the stream can relate to being up at 2 o'clock in the morning at one point when we were running ourselves into the ground type of thing. But you mentioned earlier on, and I want to touch on it, like outsourcing editing. Is this a thing that you've...
Can't do the editing outsourcing.
Okay.
I've toyed with it.
Okay.
My beautiful sister, I did teach her.
How's it edit?
And annoyingly, she did it really well and really quick. She
You like
did
that?
everything. I was like,
What's your sister's name?
Sarah.
Shout out Sarah.
Beautiful, Sarah. Thank you. Love you. Yeah, and she was all for it. I mean, she's got a full-time job herself. But
So you were doing to her what you were doing for the last 10 years?
This was before
See
she
how
had
you
kids.
like it?
This was
2
before,
o'clock in the morning.
This was before she had kids. Obviously,
let
when
it
the
off.
beautiful twins come along, it was unrealistic. And her job is quite a high-pressure job that she wasn't going to leave. So it was unrealistic. But I did toy with that idea. I have experimented, not with weddings, but with baby stuff. I've practiced a few like outsourcing ones, and I'm just can't. I'm a perfectionist, so just started off small. Started off with an accountant. That's an easy one. I'm crap at maths. I haven't got a clue. So
that's what you outsource, your accountancy and
then I
that's
went
everything.
for a cleaner in the house.
Okay.
And now I'm going down the route of admin.
Do you still have a cleaner in the house?
Yeah.
I'll get their number because Becky's desperate for a cleaner in the house. Just a little shout out there for you.
Get one.
Your mic's not on, Beth. Sorry.
Get one.
I really want to clean in the house still.
Get one. Get one. I felt like bougie and ridiculous at first, but bloody hell.
I know, because even saying out loud, I would hate saying to
gives
people,
me cringe.
yeah, the cleaners in the house.
Yeah.
It's,
You've basically got a maid, haven't you?
Give me like Evelyn's like I love when they come because they make my bed nice. And I'm like, all right, like
Because I don't make your bed, child.
I'm your mum.
But no, I felt cringy, and then also like, oh yeah, I put it off for years to be honest. When I needed help, but
So
didn't
I've
get it.
always said this to Beth about like the cleaning and stuff, because she's spot on. She's like, she is the top, like the best mom, and she just does everything. And she
You
always
have to say that just because she's
I know, but she just said that. She said on camera that she wants a cleaner, and I've always said like it makes so much sense to put your time into getting a cleaner so you can gauge that
Focus
time
on-
back
yeah.
to put it
do
elsewhere.
you think about how many hours it actually does take to clean your house from top
Yeah.
to bottom?
And there's
And if you're
there's
behind on
distractions,
editing,
isn't there, as well?
you could be like it become like a no-brainer at one point that I was just like, we're either gonna live in filth and my work's done, or we
Filth
get a
it is.
cleaner. Yeah, basically one or the other. And then I need obviously my brain's a bit give me a camera, I'm great, but I need help with the stuff that I'm not great at. I need admin help, I need help with my
Strengths and weaknesses, is there?
and I'm growing as a person and accepting what my weaknesses are, and I need to get help with them. I can't do everything. I think I put too much
That's
pressure on me
rare.
at first to be like, I'm amazing, I can be a mum, I can do this, and no, I need help.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Like I think everyone on the planet now, they do this like I can do it all mentality, and I think like what you mentioned before about I'm a boss bitch and like I can do that and do that and do that, and I don't need this and
But
we
then I
all
cry
need
for 2
something.
days.
I don't think anyone doesn't need something, because we've all got, like you said, there are little strengths and weaknesses, haven't we? So
I actually think female photographers are better than male photographers. Ryan,
she's like, yes.
but Ryan knows that I think that. I obviously love working
Yeah.
with Ryan, so I don't even count him in that bracket. He is. He is a
I
female
that's
boss
different.
himself.
I think like it's very much like
Girl
I would
boss.
think that statement, and if I was bold, say it out loud. But when then I've worked with you, and there's other like videographers who are Greg, when I
Yeah.
work with him, I think as a man you can have, not that you're not a man's man. I have to
But
be careful with the way I
get-
say it.
No, I agree.
listen,
A rapport
I'm
with
not a
girls,
man's
though.
man.
Yeah, but a rapport
I am
with
not
girls,
a man's man.
like a rapport with girls, like a different.
Yeah.
You kind of get them, like
Yeah.
the
There's a-
amount of times that you be like, I'll wait till I come in, but the girls generally are like, it's fine. They're comfortable. I think that's
You've hit the nail on the head. I think the word
the difference.
comfortable is the key for me anyway. That's my biggest aim even for the bride and a groom on a wedding day. It's just making sure that they are comfortable. So whatever level they're on, we just match it.
yeah, which you can't teach someone that. Like,
No.
you either have it.
Yeah.
Females are either comfortable around, not that you're not comfortable around certain men,
No,
but
but
it's just different on a wedding day. Like
I think some
It's all
men,
about the approach, isn't
some
it?
men can just really push a certain narrative. They can either be dead, not flirty, but they can just be dead. I don't know. I've witnessed it in the industry.
yeah, it's hard to like bottle up what that actually means, but yeah, I think
You know what I mean, don't you?
yeah,
Really?
and I would say generally, as a girl, it is you do have an advantage, and I think a lot of my brides actually say they like that I'm a girl because they're like, I know you're not going to put a double chin picture in of me, or you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and I don't. If I don't think that bride's going to like that picture, that is not going in the gallery because you want to open that gallery up and be that. So I think as long as
Even that in itself is like thinking how the bride would think. which is always
Or I know their
a skill.
insecurities, which I've already asked them what their insecurities are if they don't like a certain side of their face. I mean,
always ask
again,
that.
You asked that,
all day you can't guarantee you're not going to be there on that side.
Yeah.
But when you edit it in colour, and you could be like, oh, I know she's not going to like that, won't that in. But you know that and you do that. I think I would
that's
not
why-
expect a boy to do that.
I
man.
think that's why
Ryan sat there
I've
like,
always-
excuse
But
me.
no, but you do, and that's what I mean. The difference of people being comfortable, girls being comfortable around you, but then also knowing. Like I know if you were doing my pictures, you
think-
said you'd do my branding pictures for me, and I would be like, yes, please. And I know you're not going to.
I was just gonna
show me a double
add-
chin picture.
I was going to add on my comment because I'm probably going to upset a few male photographers who would see it as an attack.
I didn't
But
think Sorry.
I can vouch and say for the likes of Ryan, he has got probably hundreds of brides who would stick up for you and say,
Yeah.
I've felt more comfortable than ever in Ryan's company. So it's not just a digger.
clip that.
Feature on the website, but it is. I think that's quite stereotypical to say
Yeah.
that girls are better than men.
But I
At
can't
it,
help but
'cause
say it
it's-
only for my, I don't know, I just prefer working with women.
No, the girls have got the full set. So lads, as much as lads are like quite like, I won't say the word's assertive, but like laddie about things, like this is a lad's way to do it, like, and we have a structure and whatever. At the same time, we'll never, as effeminate as I would say that I am, and as comfortable as I hope people are around me / you.
Yeah.
Because we're not like that way. I think for all the trying, the ladies have just got it. Like, they've just got it so perfectly right because they can get on with girls, because they can put themselves in their place, they can get on with lads because they know what lads generally kind of are
It took
receptive
a while
to.
to get used to boys though. Like in terms of saying that, like you guys have to walk into the girls' room.
Yeah.
I have to sometimes, like before I go in, I'm like, what am I walking into? What type of group of lads
Yes.
are these?
You're right,
What-
Estelle.
It could be anything.
Don't know why they're all from London all of a sudden.
I've worked in bars, so I feel like that's being a bar.
All right, Estelle, we're not animals.
No, but I mean that's helped. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
I think that did make you sound like you animal. I've dealt with drunken men.
Like, I've worked in prisons, I know what men are like.
I didn't mean that. I feel like it helps to like navigate different situations, but I don't know what I'm walking into sometimes,
Yeah.
and that's scary. Like, yeah.
But your life story, I think this is what this seems to be the general theme of today, isn't it? Like, it's all about the character, who you are, what you're bringing as you, not necessarily what you're bringing always as the end product. And I think, like you say, you've worked in bars, I worked in, call centres forever and all sorts of stupid things. You didn't do anything else, did you really? You just stepped right into it.
No, I
Golden
done
spoon,
the jobs.
up his bum.
Professional.
No, but whatever's happened in your life, like you've done the theatre stuff and stuff like that, that ability to
Darling.
step out of a certain like position, if you like, on how you feel that day or whatever, and put yourself into a whole new character is something that is non-teachable, which we're saying. So the things that have shaped you up to this point is the things that are kind of going to make you jump to the next point, is what I was going to say.
I was good at this, isn't he?
I like that.
Yeah.
I was just going to say I couldn't deal with drunken men, but yeah, that makes sense.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about, just to move on a little bit,
Go on.
talking about drunken men. So you know your spouse. I'm not pointing out, Andy, that you're in any way inclined
I
to
was
alcohol.
actually going to say, as Ryan is a gentleman, and he is, he's really makes women feel comfortable. I think Ryan has a little segment that he likes to, gift people with.
Well, I did
things.
my segment, didn't I? I did my segment about the kids, but I did tell you before that there was a 2-option thing. I'm gonna have to retake them back to re-give them again, which is the funniest part. Just for clarity, by the way, because we don't shy away from being like
Honest.
This is what's happened here. Beth's gone. Beth is no longer here, so you can't even switch to it anymore.
No,
I'm
she's
solo now because the baby weren't playing up and she's got to manage you. Anyway, so Beth's gone, so I had to do this when she wasn't here. But the option 2 of Estelle's choice before, between the kids and the flowers, I actually had something for them. So I'm going to pretend to give you this for the first time, and you're going to react like it's the first time you get
Okay.
me.
First time ever I saw you.
So when I was in the shops today, I picked up a bouquet for my beloved wife because I thought I haven't actually got you flowers for what is in our case a long time, because I buy her flowers quite regular.
I should
Men take notes. Very nice. Well
There you go.
Well done, right?
But while I was there, I thought, there's 2 other lovely ladies in my life later on today. And this could actually be a good segment for that. And if nothing else, I've got something for them to have. So Beth's ad is, you've actually had yours already, but I'm going to give you them back again. So it's just a little bunch of flowers for you.
Do you know why I said it?
Thank you so much
I just wanted Rye to get the applause after me making that comment about
for
females.
thinking on and
Do you know what the
getting
funny
it.
thing about it is? I wouldn't have even minded if no one ever seen that.
He's lying.
I'm being deadly
Make
serious.
sure you record.
I don't do things.
Sure.
I don't do things for outward admiration. I do things for the internal communication, and that would have been fine.
As a
off
male
camera.
photographer, yeah, I feel like you've got to kind of not prove yourself more, but you can get it. I feel like they do get a
think there
bad
is.
rap.
No, there is.
You've got to be like, no, I can do it.
Because once upon a time, probably the only photographers out there were all lads.
And
That's like the traditional way. And it was a very man's, like everything was a man's world back then, wasn't it? In like the 70s,
still
80s,
is.
90s.
Careful what you say.
It's going to be funny.
I don't think so.
It's going to be funny.
Except for wedding
Because I'm going to
photography.
cut the section where he just give you the flowers and get him saying, it's just a man's world.
No, but
Except for wedding photography,
But it was
is a
always
man's world.
lads, typically, wasn't it? And then there was a certain type of lad that actually ends up being photographers, quite like hands-off, unapproachable, almost diva-ish, which is the weirdest word.
Yeah,
the irony of that.
stereotypical,
There's that
like-
stereotype.
Yeah.
That stereotype's out the window now, isn't it, to the most part? And obviously we've got our ladies in the mix who are like leading the charge, essentially, except for the effeminate lads, which I put myself in a group. We get it. We understand. And it's that what you've just said is it's getting people on your side, the lads involved as well, the grooms as well. At the end of the day, you've got to kind of get them on board because they don't want some lad coming in and going, yeah, mate, you just need to do this and do this. Like you've got to be a laddie lad to the lads and a girly girl to the girls.
Yeah.
So we've got to kind of play both, but I guess you do as well.
Yeah,
From the
like
lads.
especially like I've had some boys where you turn up and they've not even had a shower yet. And I'm like, come on, guys,
Guys, there's a lady present.
I'm
you
not
need
your
to-
mother. But go and get bloody
But I
ready.
will dress you if you need me to.
Get ready. Yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway,
changing the way of the industry to show that
tis.
boys can do it too. I've got a present for you.
What?
I mean, don't
We
get
weren't
too
expecting. We weren't expecting this. I hope it's something Harry Potter related.
Sorry, it's not.
Take no future guests. People bring us gifts.
Like, side note, I've not even seen all Harry Potter films.
You're not the only one in the
I
room.
think I told you actually. Oh, did you?
You'd be surprised to know
you know
I've
what?
never watched a single one.
You have.
I haven't. Not the whole way through.
I've only watched 1, 2, 3 because they're the only ones I thought
I seen
were not as scary.
when it
for
first started
kids.
coming out and everyone was going on about it, like it was the only thing in the world.
It makes sense.
Right.
It makes so much sense because if
I-
someone likes coffee, Ryan
watched
doesn't like
it.
coffee.
No.
If you have an iPhone,
No,
he
no,
hasn't
no.
got an iPhone.
I watched
if
it.
you've got a Sony camera, he's got a Nikon.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
I watched it on the basis of everyone's talking about this, and I like the idea there's this person who's just supernaturally gifted at what he does. I liked it, right? But
Go on.
when I watched it, I was like, oh, it's not that important. Anyway, not to upset the Harry Potter fans.
Ridiculous.
We didn't come here for this. What you got?
Didn't have wrapping paper or a bag.
Ah, doesn't matter.
I do apologise.
Such a lad thing of you to do.
In terms of presents and
Lads,
stuff,
lads.
Andy will probably vouch for me for that. I'm shit at getting presents.
That's all right. We'll take it.
I mean, I overthought this.
I'm like, I don't know what's going to be.
I just wanted something for your office because you've got all like...
Little.
We've got bits.
I seen on one of your podcasts, you had a plant pot with no plant in there. So in my brain, I was like,
Wait there.
I need to get a
Oh,
plant.
we can-
But now they've all got plants. So
We can
I'm
one
glad
up you
they
with that. We've got
didn't- Oh, there we go.
a picture frame with no picture. This is how we roll. What have you got?
Do as we say, not as we do, as photographers.
That is true.
It's a funny quote thing. For you.
Oh, nice.
Do you like it?
I love that. The office runs on sarcasm and childish humour. Yes, that is so accurate.
So, there
Thank
go.
you very much.
I really
welcome.
appreciate. Can we take it off you?
Yeah,
Just take it off your
Take
hands.
it. It's yours. Decide where to
Can you
put
see
it.
this? Some people can see this.
We can now. It's
There
in
you go.
focus.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's going to sit right here.
Right in the centre.
I mean, you're allowed to change your mind if you don't want it right there. I won't be offended.
Thanks.
Next week I'll be like, why is that not
I know, yeah.
on the top shelf in the middle?
It can be.
But yeah, I just thought I nearly went down an inspirational quote route because
No, I
you're
think-
going at this podcast really well and you're doing
Thanks, Estelle.
amazing, guys. So I nearly went down the I don't know, a motivational.
No, but that-
and then changed my mind to that.
That, if nothing else, is more accurate because
Yeah.
we like to think this is going well, but we don't want to ever think that we're doing well because it would take away from who we are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I actually said this today about I won't tell you the scenario, but basically I said I always like to be the underdog rather than the winner. Does that make sense?
Big fish, small pond.
I love it. Like, I just think if you think you're the best, or
That was
probably
the wrong
more,
terminology.
you
That
know
doesn't make
you're the
sense.
best in a certain world, that'd be like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Because I like the climb. I think the journey is better than the end. Do you know what I mean? So as a lady who is to be wed, because you obviously got engaged last year, what's your thought process being about it all now? Do you now understand why and
petrified.
how people
Not
get like
petrified.
the way that they get?
Oh my God, yeah. It's being a wedding supplier, like it is an emotional type of
Roller
Journey?
coaster?
Yeah, like for the clients, like, I might meet a client and she's absolutely like 10 tabs open going crazy, but then really in real life she's not like that. Like it's such like an emotional, stressful time for brides that I now realise what they go through
You're
and
in
why
the
they
same
might be
boat.
more tense of some
Have you set a
things.
date?
No. I've got a Pinterest board, I told you, I've got a Pinterest
Okay.
board. We are going to go and look at some venues this year though.
Okay.
That's as far as we've got.
Do you have an idea of who's going to do what?
No.
Interesting.
How would I pick?
Well, this is what I was. This is
It
what I was
actually
looking
equally
for.
kind of makes me want to be like
The underlying
a
question.
complete stranger.
And this is for
because-
everybody, because how do you pick? It's probably harder for you because there's an association with certain individuals that they'll be expecting you to pick them.
everyone
I'm
to
not
do
saying
it.
me, by the way, before you say it, because I know you're jumping in with that type of talk. Like,
wasn't.
you do normally jump in with those type of things. Now, look, he's full of shit. But like, if you say picked this person instead of this person, they might go, oh.
Yeah, why didn't you choose me?
I thought we were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that play into
That is
a factor?
literally, lost sleep on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Do you feel like you're going to upset people if you don't
Yeah,
choose?
no matter what. Yeah, because, there's loads of people to speak to and love and show up to. So, yeah, how the hell would you pick?
You can only pick one. Do you know what I mean? And I think
For
no one can hold you, you know what I mean, hold you to that.
Yeah, it to my face.
Do you know what's funny though? Do you know what's funny? While we were actually doing the podcast, I've actually just had a message off a wedding photographer who I've worked with loads in the past few years, who's just inquired with us for their wedding dates. That's quite nice. That's a nice compliment,
yeah,
isn't it,
it
really?
is.
I think that's a lovely compliment.
That's a
I think
high
if you're the
compliment.
person at the end of your ultimate decision, it's a lovely compliment.
Yeah. So, not just the work side of it, but also having, us be on the day and capture it is a massive...
What's Andy think about it all? Do you know?
I keep trying to say to him, like, what's your vision?
Because
What's your vision of the
I've
day?
only met him a couple of times, I think.
I think he just knows that's my domain.
But I
in a
get the
sense.
feel from him. He's quite a forthright fellow. He likes to know what he's about and where he's going.
I am a passenger princess.
Okay.
I am a passenger princess. I don't know.
Is that in your Instagram bio? It should be.
Should be.
now.
Should be. That first destination that I did, I literally was like, can you double check I've done this correct? And I had.
Yeah.
I am capable. I just choose not to be if he's around because he looks after me.
But I think what you're
It's a
trying to
choice.
say in terms of Andy being involved in the wedding planning, because you work in the industry and
Yeah,
you've got
I think
Is he
he's-
going to leave it
yeah.
all to you? Do you know what I mean?
I think, no, he definitely will be, involved in the decision making. I do think he does actually
Ultimate
wanna know
yes or
and
no
care.
answers only.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do think he's taken a little bit of a step back other than saying, I want mountains.
I love that.
Because
I want mountains.
I want a mountain.
Mountains, deal.
And I kind of, just because I know him and us as a couple, I know what vibe. I already know
Yeah,
what
well,
vibe we're going to go for.
yeah.
Will
you follow any trends when you're getting married? Because a lot of people do fall into like booking certain things because it's in at the moment. But are you going for that or not?
I mean, I do really love a little thingy tower.
Champagne tower.
Yeah. I do
Champagne
love
Tower's a
that.
classic, Andy.
I love Prosecco as well. I would be Prosecco, not champagne though. Not because I'm a cheapskate. I am.
You don't like
But
champagne?
Don't like champagne.
What?
There you
No,
go.
I don't.
I love champagne over Prosecco every time.
Same.
No, I love Prosecco.
Where it must be classy gals, me and you.
I'm not lit. You know
I do
where I'm
like
from.
that trend. And
Lemonade.
I don't know what other trends.
Other trends.
I probably would get suckered into that. I think when you.
Oh
see
yeah.
it.
Can I ask you the question from
Go on.
my perspective then? Would you have a videographer there?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Would you have a photographer there?
No, and it's going to be a small wedding. It's going to be like no more than 60 people.
I wouldn't say that's small.
That's it.
Is that still big?
I would say so,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie.
Someone's been going to Lake Como with 130 plus, haven't they?
Aye.
But I'm going to have with Greg too much, you.
That's a good segue.
Shout out, Greg.
Ready? I love the fact that you're laughing, right?
That was it.
Take two, guys.
That's it.
Ready?
Of course.
1, 2, 3.
I can't do it. No.
I'll
It's
do it.
question time.
No, I'll do it.
Oh,
It's question time. Okay, I can do
So
it
yeah,
now.
you've got
Okay,
it.
ready?
You've got it. So listen.
I'll point when to do it. Okay. I actually like the fact that you're laughing now.
I love it. I think the more you don't do that, the better it's getting.
Beth, you're out of a job, girl.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Right, so we do have lots of questions coming in. First one.
All from your friends, weirdly.
Yes,
Sorry,
they are.
Love you.
What a messing. Go on.
Lauren Jane 1. Do you know this lady? Yeah. Okay. Do you have a dream destination to shoot a wedding in? Go.
Somewhere sunny. I want to go to mountains. Yeah, that's
Do you
a
have
dream.
it? No, but
I
you-
want a mountain one.
You keep saying a mountain one. Do you have a place in mind for a mountain one? This episode's going to be called The Mountain One.
I know Steve, our mate Steve, he went to, is it the Dolomites?
You put me on the spot, yeah.
Which is like a mountain range.
That's where we're going to
somewhere.
look for us.
So, and he's done photo shoots around there, and some of the work that he's pulled back from there has looked.
I'd love to do a skiing one. Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be cool,
I want
that.
oh, yeah.
Are you going to ski down the aisle? No.
No, only because yeah.
Snowplow.
I keep seeing those weddings though where they like do actually ski on the day, but we're not going to do snow like a ski season
Ski
wedding.
resort, but not.
Ski resort,
Yeah.
but not in snow, just because there's going to be lots of our kids are used to cold, but not other kids might be, and the older.
Yeah.
My mum would kill me calling it old, but the
Well, we weren't asking for names.
I just put my foot in it. The hierarchy of the
Yes.
families might not do well with slippery snow and ice.
Fair point.
Fair to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good save. And Lauren Jane sent another one in. Thanks, Lauren. Shout out, Lauren.
Shout out, Lauren. You're number
Tell
one.
us about your favourite wedding to shoot. Bit of a niche question, that one, but what would your typical favourite type of wedding be? We can all answer this, by the way, as well. Not just directly at you, Estelle. Do you want to go take the floor, right?
Go on, while I think.
I don't know. I just like ones where like the couple and the wider family are like on you.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, and it doesn't even really matter where it is, really. But they're the ones that I think, talking about the way we say we're looking for the emotion more than the actual like end product. It can be like, not that this happens, but it can be like the crappiest venue ever in like the worst place on the cloudiest, wettest day. But if the family are like inviting you into their day and they're like talking to you and having jokes with you and stuff like that, which is what I ultimately look for from a wedding day. That's what I love. They're the favourite days to me. Obviously, if it's at a boss venue and it's a lovely, nice day, then even better. But
not necessarily though, because sometimes you can have a couple who just. Because I always feel like, I'm not trying to flip it now, but it always kills me the most when I see couples who can't enjoy themselves. That makes sense. Like they've planned it for so long and like they've put so much pressure on themselves that when it comes to the wedding, they're just like, I'm done now. I just want it over and done with. And I've experienced it through like families' weddings, and it's so sad. So even they can have the best venues ever. The first answer you gave was the best in the sense that it doesn't matter where you are. It matters who the people who's there for you.
who's there,
Yeah.
I will copy and paste what Ryan just said.
Copy and paste.
Literally.
But we are very similar,
it
aren't
is
we?
about the people. It is definitely,
Yeah,
so
it is,
my
isn't it?
favourite wedding to shoot is, bring the vibes.
Favourite venue?
the vibes.
Favourite venue?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can't say
what?
Lake Como, it's off the list.
I don't think I've particularly got a venue because I feel like what Ryan said. I like think of a wedding at a venue and be like, oh, I love that. But then is it the venue that I liked or was it the
people.
people?
This-
I love.
this is funny, isn't it?
But in saying that, there are venues I've shot. Ones that I'm like, I will come back here tomorrow if there's loads of natural light.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Think
fun.
these things through
Natural
couples.
light.
I think venues should think this through as well, because some venues.
Sometimes I think, what were you thinking? There's a
Yeah.
spotlight right there, a thingy spotlight.
Yeah.
Where they're standing doing their vows. Why?
Yes.
That is not good.
Yes.
For
What's that
anyone.
one?
I'm not saying it.
What's the one with the telly on the wall?
That kills me. Why? Or
Right,
if you have to have a telly on the wall for using the room for other purposes,
No, wait.
Telly on the wall.
So there's a
have
venue.
something covering it for weddings.
There's a venue
Invest.
that no, but they've incorporated it into the day. So I can't remember the name of the venue.
Telly on the wall.
But basically, that. So I'm at the end of the
Have
aisle.
I shot the venue before?
I think you were at it. So so you're at the end of the aisle. Your guests are all facing this way. You're at the top. Your registrars are behind you. The next thing is the wall. There was a television with a wedding-related image that matched the decor of the day. So you were shooting at the telly.
This sounds like a hotel.
But it weren't. Well, I think it was a hotel. But it weren't a good. It weren't like a
One of your
HD image
photos?
or anything like that. No, not even that. But it all it did is the colour, the contrast, the match. Like, you know, if you take a picture of a screen with your phone,
Oh, shit, the speed, isn't it?
shit.
Yeah.
Like, it just, everything goes, the colours are gone, everything. It doesn't look the same. And that was just the same on that day. So it was difficult because you had to get round it. But yeah, it was probably one of the worst.
I won't actually say who it's from, but I think it's probably one of your previous brides, because a photo is a bride's photo. I'm just assuming. Could be your friend. Could be well off, Estelle. But she's basically put, how do you deal with a bridezilla who is hard to work with? And that is literally what you do. You just laugh, don't you?
Did you not say it was
Just
for that reason?
yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. Come on.
In case she was a bridezilla.
I don't think I've ever had any.
Good answer.
Honestly,
Good answer.
honestly, I think-
Hey, she's done this before. You've been media trained, haven't you, Estelle?
No, that's why I didn't want to come on here. No, I don't think I've had. I mean, I've had brides who have been very stressed at certain points of the day, or if something's not gone to plan, they've spiraled a little bit, and then we've brought them back down to be like calm again.
Yeah.
So the question is, how have you done that?
Oh, I don't know.
Look at her, she's
I think
lovely.
that's when the camera goes down and it's not. It's like
Be
you're.
a person first.
That's like, I'm not taking your picture right now because you look like you're about to cry.
need it.
The camera goes down. I don't
Let's
know.
have
So how do I do that? I don't know.
I was
Just do
gonna.
it.
I was gonna
I've
say.
actually got an
do
actual
it.
example of that as well.
Well, go on then. Tell us.
So we were at a wedding at
You're not naming someone.
Ala
right now.
Gladstone,
Okay.
a venue in Liverpool, as you'll know well. And it was either the end of last year or the year before, and the bride had booked a musician,
Okay.
whose name I will not mention, and they didn't turn up, basically.
Yeah, it happens.
At first,
There's always something that
They
goes
were running
wrong.
late, essentially.
Yeah.
At first, they were running late, and then she was messaging this particular person, and they were just like not replying at all. So the worry started, like you've just mentioned that, and I noticed it. And this is across the room. I seen it was like, you know, the body language, what she was giving off. And then as it kind of came up, it was like she'd got an answer from them and they'd basically double booked, but they chose the other one. Now, I don't know if that was for monetary reasons or whatever, but they basically chose the other one and like just classed it as a mistake and was just like rubbed it off. Now, I'm hoping that other one that they were at was another wedding, because nothing trumps a wedding day, realistically, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you try and get another person though?
Well, you would, but this is what I did exactly what you just said there, which is the camera goes down. You're not a photographer anymore. You're basically
You're
like
ringing someone now.
You're a
Mate,
friend.
please
You're a
guitar.
counsellor.
You're a friend. You're a shoulder to cry on. You're a reassuring other person there. Because I think her dad was with her, and he was like, "No, love, it doesn't matter. No one's." She's like, "No, but it does, because I want everyone to have a good time." And obviously, you don't take always the people closest to you's opinion, do you? Like, if you were having like a hard time in whatever capacity you want to play it, and Andy was going to no, because this, you probably wouldn't always listen to him. You might listen to someone who's like a neutral party more than him sometimes, because you just think they're telling you what you want to hear or what they think you want to hear. So I reassuringly went out and basically did that exact, like, listen, look back inside your room. Like, and I'm telling you now, as someone who's not even part of a party, I can see everyone's having the best time ever. What you've got to remember is nobody else apart from you knew that they were coming.
Yeah.
Nobody. So
No one else knows the timeline
they
of your
don't
day,
know.
really, or anything. Like,
They don't
if
know
it
what's
goes
going on.
wrong,
Do you know what's funny though? All I was
Doesn't
envisioning
matter.
was Ryan going, listen, I've got a guitar in the car.
I've got a guitar over there. I can't play it, but I'll get it out.
That's all I could envision you saying, you know.
No, but this is the thing.
camera did go down.
This again, and this seems to be the constant story, isn't it? It's like, it's who you are. People are booking you for who you are. I don't think everybody could do that. I'm not just putting myself out as like oh no, I'm the best because I said don't worry about it. But like, I had to reassure and I had to use the example of, I'm walking around your whole room here and there's not one person who seems unhappy. So this minor blip that you're obviously quite like, and understandably emotional about, you don't have to be, because everybody's still having the best time ever. Camera down, friendship, let's get back inside, she's a lovely night. So there's my example. What have you got?
My example's probably the opposite, to be honest with you. Nah, to be fair, my bride, she was just no messing with her, everything. She knew what she wanted, which is great, and it helps us out when brides are like that. But I think the venue had messed up, and obviously I think that's what happens when people have spent a lot of money on like a venue and they put a lot of time into organising something a certain way, and the venue potentially haven't listened to them, and obviously you've just took the money and haven't put her vision into, you know, what she wanted. That was the only time I've really had where I've felt, okay, she's gonna either lose her shit with the venue here or
AKA you.
No, she was fine with me. She was fine with everyone, really, even like the makeup and hair girls, because they're the ones who were dealing with that initial, she's going to blow you, you know what I mean? And she was fine.
There's like whispers around the room and
Well,
everyone's trying not get back to the bride, and you're like,
Yeah, and everyone's like, all the suppliers.
Don't talk to her.
Yeah. Because you always have that like maid of honour and goes, listen, I know her better than anyone. Right, everyone just leave it a minute.
But that's another good point though, isn't it? Like, feed into the people around them.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't solve every issue, but we'll know people who can. You know what I mean?
We are an extended bridesmaid, let's just say.
Yeah.
It's not a question. This is the final thing. It's not a question. But it's basically someone saying you're a super lovely person and such a fantastic photographer. And that's Weddings by Kezia.
oh,
How do you say it? Kezia? Sorry, Kezia. But yeah, a little message from Kezia. That's stunning, that, isn't it? I've got a look at Kezia.
Thank you.
Isn't that nice?
I hope I've just pronounced that correct.
I know, because I'm like...
Still be
You've
my
known
friend
her
if
for
I
a
didn't.
long time, haven't you, though?
Yeah, but she's never corrected me. That's correct. Yeah.
18 years later.
Oh, she's just not
Estelle,
corrected
just by
me.
the way, it's actually Kezia.
Love you.
Oh, that's such a lovely
that's
thing.
lovely, that's
And
lovely.
I'm guessing she's a photographer as well.
We met on a styled shoot
Okay.
in London,
Okay.
but then turned out she lived in Southport,
Right.
like close. So yeah, that was where we.
Do you do a lot of style shoots?
No.
Have
do
you
know
done a
what?
lot of style
I have.
shoots?
Do you know what? I've not even shared half of them. I've done them when I've just kind of got itchy feet and want to try something. But I think they're great
For
to
experimenting?
do.
For
Experimenting.
photographers? Yeah.
One that I solely did, and I wanted to completely experiment with different camera settings and things that I would never trial on a wedding day. So it's good for that. But I have found that they were most beneficial for meeting other
Networking.
photographers and suppliers. Like the first ever second shotting, was that correct? The first wedding that I second shot was with the photographer I met on a styled shoot. She was
There you
like,
go.
come along with me. And that was the start, and I did it with her. Yeah. So
Lovely. What do you think about style
Second
shoots?
style
you
shoots.
shouldn't advertise them and book, like, if anyone, you shouldn't.
And
You know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're trying to say.
I think what you're trying to say is, what I was just going to say as well, is like,
It's
I
not
think
the
they
same
give
as a
such a
wedding.
false, like,
It's not the same.
because I know there's certain pages that I follow who I think are perfectly aesthetical. Like, if I was just a random person just finding that page, I'd be like, what? This
I do share
photographer's
some with them,
unbelievable.
but they're sporadic.
They're
mixed in
around.
with other-
They're
But then, do you think it's like false advertisement as well? Because it's not a real wedding. Because
It's false expectations.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, from a couple's perspective, when they're looking at potential suppliers that they want to book, and they go on and they see this like stunning photograph and they go, oh my God, these are the photographers for me. And they book them. And then you wouldn't know. But
That's when it comes into... It's going to sound really big-headed then, because I was like, if I take a good picture on a styled shoot, I can do that on a wedding day if you give me the chance. But it's the expectation of time. Like, one of my particular weddings, like, a lot of brides book me and say, that was what drew me to you. I love that. I love every single picture that you did that you've shared of that said wedding. But then I've been like, full disclaimer, we did those bridal shots and couples photos for longer than what I would normally do. And normally I might take you for 10, 15, 20 minutes if I'm lucky. 20 minutes, please, if I can. But that one, I think we were doing it for ages because we were having a ball and they were having a ball and they wanted that, and it was just, that's the way it went. But I'm honest, I say that took longer. And on a styled shoot, you could have an hour with a bride to get the shot.
Well, this is the difference, isn't it? This is the danger zone of like us being honest, which is what I think all of us are really good for that.
Yeah.
I guess
There's no point in lying, is there?
I hope
really,
that's
about
why
it?
people book us, because of our honesty and, you know, obviously skill levels and whatever. But there are people out there who would use that as this was a
I think
little
you
one
have
that
to
I did
say
in
that it's a
such and
styled
such.
shoot on your picture. I think.
Some people are arsehole though,
But
aren't
some
they?
people aren't. But yeah, I think that's when it comes down to, if you're looking at photographers and it does look that potentially they're all styled shoots, like as a client-based advice, just ask for a full gallery, because chances are they might be able to produce that on a wedding day. So ask for a full
you go.
gallery.
Anyway, so you will know, because you've seen other people with these, so this kind of takes the shine off it a little bit. But this is something we created as a way of giving back to the people who've gave us their time, because we appreciate it massively. I've learned my lesson, which is I've already pre-opened it, so I can just give it to you now, like this. So this is just a little gift from us, pour vous.
Merci beaucoup.
Oh, a lot of French.
Thanks.
Drink from it with pride.
Sorry. Be on the desk. Thank you very much.
But no, thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, hopefully the little mug reminds you of your time with us today. Yeah, thanks.
We
Thank you.
absolutely love you.
It wasn't as
You're
scary
one of our
as I
best
thought.
friends in the industry, I would say.
Definitely.
I'll go as far as to say that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Love
everyone.
You too.
Peace.
Love you. Bye.
Thanks, Estelle.
Thank you.